From the shadowed peaks of the Salt Lake Valley to the mist-covered banks of the Hudson Valley and all across the globe, the signal drifts through the night. This is Midnight Signals. Now, here are your hosts, Sergeant Shenanigator and Alien Mike.
Alien Mike, what's going on today, man?
Another day in paradise.
Oh,
how are you? Yeah, always is, huh?
It always is.
Yeah. So, I'm losing my dang mind today. How are you doing, Steve?
I'm doing really well. A little heat exhaustion from this week.
Oh yeah.
I think today we had 104.
Yeah. I saw a post yesterday or the day before from someone that in Poughkeepsie that said it showed like 104 temp, and I went, "You got to be kidding me! It's not even that hot here."
I think the weather app said it was 104, but it feels like 110.
Oh yeah, that was right, because the one I saw said 104 feels 112, and I went, "Oh, that's just too much."
So I think Mrs. Shenanigator's home. So welcome back to the air conditioning.
Oh, very nice. So, how have you been other than the heat exhaustion? How's work?
Well, work is going really good. I mean, I'm having the time of my life at this new job. I miss all the friends I had from the last job, but I think this is where I needed to be.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's right here. Lilith, she's the one that posted that.
Ah, yeah, welcome, Lilith.
The temperature. Yeah, the few times that we've talked throughout the week, it seemed like you're in the spot you need to be. You seem extremely happy.
Oh, I'm very happy. I mean,
yeah.
At the last job, I never got to see the outcome.
Right.
Here I get to see the daily outcome. Not that it's about me seeing that, but
right. But
I was
where you're
always worried at the last job. I tell somebody, hey, you need to go do this.
You don't know
worried they're not going to do it.
Right.
Here I get to go through all the way to the end.
That's awesome. The only thing. Oh no. Oh, sorry, I hit it at the same time. No AC. I was talking to somebody about that earlier today. Their AC went out for a couple of hours, and I said, it was like 3 years ago. We had our whole central air go out, and had to get everything replaced. And a summer without that was the worst I've ever experienced.
Oh, that's miserable.
Hi, baby. What are you doing, Dixie?
It's good to actually see outcomes that I can help control.
Come here. Are you coming up or not? Come on. We'll
go. You
come here. Come here.
Bringing a little one out.
Come on. There we go.
The little alien hunter.
Yo, your little puppy dog. Yeah, the only thing that I've noticed different about this place compared to the last one is the last one you seemed to work at a desk a lot. So you were always available if we had something we needed to talk about as far as the podcast goes. And I've noticed this one, you're a little bit busier. So that's, not a bad thing, but
I will tell you, it was busier because of the heat.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably trying to get everybody out of that heat.
Try and get them into a cooling center, but most of the time I was out delivering, or the first day I was just out delivering cold water and some snacks to people. Just try and keep them cool and get them in the shade.
That's just, it makes me really happy for you to be able to do that. I was talking to my mom last night. I was up at their house helping them, and I was talking about your new job and what you do, and that you get the opportunity to work with more vets and stuff. And I had no clue, but she looks at me and goes, "That's what your brother does." I go, "What are you talking about?" He does it. They're based out of California, so he does it online, but vets call in, and he helps them get all their benefits that they don't know how to go about getting.
He's a true VSO.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's where I'm striving to go.
Yeah, he hasn't been there that long, maybe a year, but I knew he loved the job. I just didn't know this is what he did. So, but
well, anyway, enough about the work. Tonight, I know we did the live last week, and we just decided, since Alien Mike is going on vacation next week, that we'd go ahead and do something special today to celebrate America's 250th birthday.
Yep.
And I worked with Alien Blorp. I worked with a few other contacts I've got in the intergalactic empire. I could not get anybody to do a UFO flyover.
You tried, but no dice.
I tried. So rather than the UFO flyover, we decided we'd do some Revolutionary War ghost stories.
Yeah, this one was actually, it was a lot of fun to do. And I'll be honest, it's been a hellish week. It's been really difficult. So I didn't have as much time to just sit down and research, but I found a few interesting stories that I thought, this fits kind of perfect.
Oh, absolutely. I did the same thing.
Yeah. So I'm glad. I think it was a perfect topic, for, the time of year it is.
So if you want to go ahead and start us off tonight.
Yeah. Let me pull up and see which one I have first. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Is this one, this story that I've got, called The Drummer Who Never Went Home. And I don't think you had this story, did you?
I actually did, but I decided not to do that one at the last minute for some reason. And without even asking you if you had it.
Oh, well, that works then. So that's the one I'm going to do. So I've got a little story based on that. Excuse me. Let's see if I can get through this without stuttering again.
Good luck. I've been stuttering all day.
Mrs. Shenanigator.
Mrs. Shenanigator's in the house. Well, of course she's in the house. She's downstairs. I was trying to be all cool, and I ended up showing my age and what an old fart I am.
Yes, Lilith. Perfect for the 4th and the 250.
Yep.
So this one, The Drummer Who Never Went Home. The wind howled through the ancient oak trees as Ben Carter followed the narrow trail toward the forgotten battlefield. It was nearly dusk, and the fading light painted the countryside in shades of gray. Locals had warned him not to visit after sunset. They still march, an old woman had whispered, especially on nights when the fog rolls in. Ben smiled at the story. He loved history, and the idea of Revolutionary War ghosts seemed more like folklore than fact. As darkness settled, a thick mist drifted across the field. The sounds of the modern world disappeared. No birds, no insects, just silence. Then, tap, tap, tap. A slow drum beat echoed through the fog. Ben froze. The rhythm grew louder until a young drummer boy emerged from the mist. He couldn't have been older than 14. His faded blue Continental Army uniform was torn, stained with dirt, and marked by a dark hole near his shoulder. Yet he marched with perfect discipline, his weathered drum keeping time for soldiers no one else could see. One by one, ghostly figures appeared behind him. Dozens of Continental soldiers marched silently across the field, muskets resting on their shoulders. Their faces were weary, their uniforms ragged from months of hardship, but their determination remained unchanged. On the opposite side of the field, another line slowly materialized. British redcoats. The two armies stopped only yards apart. The drummer raised his sticks. The silence became unbearable. Then came a flash, not of lightning, but of musket fire. The battlefield exploded with smoke, shouts, and cannon fire that seemed to come from another century. Ben ducked instinctively as spectral soldiers charged through one another in a battle that had ended more than 200 years ago. The ghosts never noticed him. They simply relived the terrible moments that had claimed their lives. Just as suddenly as it began, everything stopped. The smoke faded, the soldiers vanished, only the drummer boy remained. He looked directly at Ben. For the first time, the boy smiled. He removed a folded piece of paper from inside his coat and held it out. Ben hesitated before taking it. The paper was old, brittle, and addressed only to Mother. Before Ben could speak, the drummer faded into the mist. The field fell silent once more. The next morning, historians identified the letter as a farewell written by a young Continental Army drummer who had been killed during the battle before he could send it home. His name appeared on a Revolutionary War casualty list, but no record existed of the letter ever being found. Today, visitors still report hearing faint drum beats drifting across the battlefield after sunset. Some claim that if they follow the sound through the fog, they will see a lone drummer leading invisible soldiers into battle once again. And every so often, someone discovers a small, muddy footprint where no living child has walked. So that's my first story.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
That one was good.
It was surprisingly this research was rather difficult for what I did, and not that it was hard to find anything. It was what it was about.
Yeah.
And everything that happened, and I know our podcast is all on the paranormal and ghosts and UFOs and every tinfoil hat wearing thing, but
Us?
yeah, not us.
I don't buy it.
We never do that. But just the history, behind it,
Yeah.
what made it fascinating.
No,
So
I think before I go into my story, I think the one thing that I really enjoy about living out here on the East Coast is I'm out here where the country was founded.
Yep.
And before, when I was studying the Revolutionary War, I didn't know about the Battle of Saratoga. I didn't know where Saratoga was.
Right.
And now I come out here and I hear these stories and I read these stories and I realize, hey, you know what? That's just like 30 miles upriver.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a half an hour drive.
Yep. I think I was a lot like you. I knew that the country was founded out there. I knew that there was a lot of stuff that happened. I mean, I lived in Georgia for the first part of my life where there was a lot of talk about, the Revolutionary War, Civil War, and all that. But I only knew the southern side of it because that's where I grew up. I didn't know much about the history as far as the northern side went. But once I came out there the first time and we started going around and looking at the houses that have, is it in Kingston? I think that they had the old, like, historic plaques on the house where what do you call it? So out of it, I can't even think of the word.
The cornerstone with the year.
Yeah, I had the cornerstone, but like the footings.
Oh yeah, okay.
The original like stone brickwork.
Yeah. Well, we got the Clinton house just over here on Main Street.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the second capital of the great state of New York.
Oh, that's
Here
right.
in Poughkeepsie.
I do remember hearing that.
Yep. The Senate met in the Clinton House, and Congress met in a tavern just down the road.
That's right.
Yep.
I think you were the one that was telling me about that.
And then right over by the DMV is where they ratified the Constitution, where New York ratified the Constitution.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really weird to have that kind of history here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the thing that was the coolest for me, honestly, was when we went to the, is it Kingston has the four corners where all four buildings are pre-revolutionary.
Yep. I think that's where we were.
Yep. So was it the Poughkeepsie Rural Cemetery? Is that what it was called?
Yes.
When it's not really rural, I mean, it's massive. I think that thing is 3 times the size of at least of Salt Lake's.
It took us what, 45 minutes to drive around?
Yeah.
It'd take me 45 minutes to walk the Salt Lake Cemetery.
It's crazy huge. And
yeah, it is.
The coolest thing was just Kingston was the first capital. It was really neat to wander around and see how old these headstones were.
Oh yeah.
It was almost like it was a game, to find, because I know they have like certain sections for different eras, but to see how old they were and to think, okay, this person lived and died before we were a country. It's incredible.
Oh yeah, we brought you to that cemetery, and we brought you to the one out near Rhinebeck.
Yeah. Yep. It was definitely something else, something I've never experienced.
So now get back to my story real quick.
Right.
I'm sure most everybody knows the painting of George Washington standing at the front of a small boat as they cross the Delaware River on Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of historians will tell you that painting is not accurate. Honestly, that the painting isn't trying to be accurate in a historical sense, but it's trying to be accurate in what's the word I'm thinking of? More accurate in courage. I mean,
okay.
These guys are, wherever they crossed, they crossed the Delaware River. Many of the men were barefoot, and they were leaving bloody footprints in the snow as they marched towards Trenton. But according to a local legend, that crossing may have never truly ended. Residents living along the Delaware River for generations have described strange sounds coming from the water during the dead of winter. On particular cold nights, especially when fog settles over the river, people report hearing splashes of wooden oars cutting through the icy water. Some hear horses snorting, leather harnesses creaking, wagon wheels on grinding roads. And the unsettling part is that there is often nothing there. So there's no tracks when people go out looking.
Mm-hmm.
Several witnesses have claimed to see dark shapes moving silently across the river, almost as if a line of small boats is emerging from the fog. This story really, to me, took a turn because not only were paranormal investigators getting EVPs, but people that would just go out there were actually hearing the voices as somebody's crossing the river, shouting military commands such as hold steady, forward, and then silence. I mean, even the rowing of the boat would stop at that point. It's pretty much a common report is they would hear the bluecoats going across the river. They could hear them talking. They could hear them rowing, and then nothing. They've got. If you do a search on the internet, you can find a lot of people that have EVPs near the Delaware River.
Mm-hmm.
They've got recordings that sound like marching with the distant beat of a military drum. So this legend is really interesting to me because as far as General Washington goes, that is one of my absolute favorite paintings.
Yeah.
And it's sad that, you know, if that battle, if that crossing is still going on today with these spirits or entities or whatever they are, it's sad that they have to live that out over and over and over, because that had to have been tragic walking through, you know, an East Coast winter.
Yeah.
In the freezing cold and snow and ice with no shoes on.
I could not imagine that.
Yeah.
Dina, how are ya?
Oh, Dina made it. Welcome.
Yeah. Oh, I was just about to click that one. Yeah, it has the emotional truth of the moment.
So, but that's pretty much my story on the crossing of the Delaware. It's not a real big ghost story.
Yeah.
It seems to be like 30 or 40 different ghost stories compiled into one. You know, so one paranormal investigator said he heard the rowing, but then an hour later, his buddy goes out and catches the EVP of military commands: hold steady, okay, forward. So
Cool.
it kind of just pieced the whole legend together.
Yeah. Very interesting. Hi, Dina. Hi, boss. All right. Well, let me I'm going to switch mine up real quick. So this one that I'm going to do is from Reddit. Excuse me. It's a little bit longer, but I'm going to read exactly how the person wrote it. So bear with me. It is titled My Experience in a Revolutionary War Battlefield. I've got to blow this up a little bit because I am blind and can't see.
I know that feeling well.
What's that?
I know that feeling well.
Oh, yeah. All right. It starts out. I was around 18 at the time of my experience, and it happened at the Oriskany battlefield. I don't know how to say that. For those unfamiliar with the Battle of Oriskany, it was considered one of the bloodiest battles of the Revolutionary War. I want to get into my experience, so I will quickly sum up the battle that took place on this site, August 6th, 1777. As the story goes, around 800 Patriots were marching to a nearby fort when they stopped at a small creek to drink some water before continuing their march towards their destination, which was 6 miles away. The creek is located at the bottom of a ravine and has 2 fields on each side, with it being more heavily wooded at the bottom around the creek. A large force, mainly consisting of Native Americans who were British loyalists, had picked this spot to set up an ambush, which had caught the Patriots off guard and started to battle, which resulted in over 400 deaths. Rumor has it that the small creek at the bottom of the ravine ran red for some time after the battle, and that many of the injured men left behind had an agonizing death due to their injuries and being subjected to the elements. Excuse me. Getting back to my experience at the battlefield, I've had many unexplained things happen while at the battlefield, but I'm going to tell the one that scared me the most. I had gone to the battlefield during a summer's night with one of my close friends. We didn't walk down the ravine, but stayed between the field and where the ground started to dip going down to the creek. At the time of my experience, we were both sitting down and had been silent for about 30 seconds when we suddenly heard a sound in the distance, which we both questioned but quickly agreed that it was most likely a truck driving on a road in the distance. It was within the first 5 seconds after we stopped talking that whatever was around us had made itself. What's that?
That was a motorcycle going by. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I thought you said something. All right, where am I at? Oh, here we go. It was within the first 5 seconds after we stopped talking that whatever was around us had made itself known. Both of our heads were facing the same direction, and we suddenly heard a very distinctive, deep breathing behind us. The best way I can describe the sound is if someone was gasping for air through only their mouth, but they were doing it at a slower pace than someone who might actually be gasping for air. At this point, we looked at each other, and the sound became louder and louder and sounded as though it originated from 3 feet behind our heads. I wish at that time we decided to stay and try to debunk the situation. However, it didn't take long before we ran away. What was rather interesting is how the sound followed us as we ran. It was as if no matter how fast or far we ran, the sound's origin would always be 3 feet behind our heads. Eventually, as we got farther away from the field, the sound stopped and the feeling of being followed had gone away with it. Once we calmed down and got into our cars, we drove our separate ways to our childhood houses. Here is where things get really interesting. This was at a time where all the teenagers were just getting into texting, and AOL Instant Messenger was the big communication hub. Like most kids around my age at that time, I would always go on AIM for an hour or so before bed. While on, I received a message from my friend who was with me at the battlefield. He had told me that he can't find his phone and thinks he dropped it during our run while being chased by that gasping sound. He later drove to my house, where we gained the courage to drive back to the same place we frantically ran out of. We cautiously walked side by side into the battlefield to retrace our steps, while I kept calling his cell phone to see if we could hear it vibrate or see the small caller ID screen light up in front of the flip phone. We were still shook up about our experience, which was still fresh in our minds since it was only about an hour and a half since it had happened. We power walked into the area since we didn't want to be there, but also had to take our time looking for his phone. As soon as we got to the same location where the gasping sound stopped, it had started again and began to follow us like before. My friend kept saying, "I'm only here for the phone," but the sound was still following us and sounding more and more menacing and louder with each gasp it made. Luckily, we had located the phone only after about 15 seconds of the sound following us. We turned around and sprinted away just as we did before. Oddly enough, the same thing happened where the sound turned around as well, followed us, and stopped at that same location. It has been almost 10 years since this happened, and we can't help but find ourselves talking about this experience among ourselves and with others around us. I suppose we are lucky to have experienced this together and have someone else to talk with about it over the years. So it's the reason I chose that one is obviously the battle was bad. And so it just made me think Daffodil Farm is in GA. Sorry, I was reading the comments.
Oh,
I wanted to do that one just because with how bad these battles were and how many casualties and just all the horrible crap that happened, there has to be something lingering there, in that area.
oh yeah.
And this is not the scariest story I've ever read, but it was almost like whatever it was trying to keep them out of this area. It followed almost like a guard dog in a junkyard, chases you out. As soon as you cross outside of the property, it stops. So I know it's not too terribly exciting, but it just made me think. You
Oh
know, like
no, that one was perfect. I loved it.
all the shit that had to have happened, and I
I
couldn't
mean,
imagine going through something like that, you know, at that time. And, you know, I mean,
yeah. I mean, and and I know we're doing the ghost stories of the Revolutionary War, which officially didn't start 250 years ago tomorrow. It was just kind of our little up yours to the king.
yep.
But I thought about this today while I was going through some of these stories and picking out the ones I wanted.
Mhm.
Imagine yesterday you're sitting in Philadelphia and you have now completed the Declaration of Independence and voted on it and agreed that it's time to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, January 2nd or July 2nd, it was a done deal. They knew
Right.
what they were going to do and they knew the consequences. January 3rd, they were dressing up the final wording, making it all right. I know there's some things in there that were added back in, even though Thomas Jefferson didn't want it. But still,
Right.
they were finalizing everything so that tomorrow they could pretty much sign their death warrant.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just the people in the people getting ready to sign that document. It's by this point everybody knows the British are coming. There is no getting around that. This war is now inevitable as of yesterday.
Yep.
And I mean, you can be in the military and train for war, but these guys didn't have that training.
No, they
All
were,
they had was a musket and a desire to just finally be free.
yeah. It's here's
And
your
that's
gun,
powerful,
and
man.
yep, figure out, you know, how to use it. And anybody that can do that and willingly do that because they wanted a better life.
Yeah. So that's to me, that's why I enjoy researching this stuff and learning about the history and then getting to the ghost side, the paranormal side of it.
Yeah.
It's just what they endured to
Yeah.
create the nation we live in.
When I was at my parents' helping my dad yesterday, he I don't know how we got on the topic, but he was talking about was it the battle of Omaha? No, that's in Normandy, right?
Omaha Beach, yeah.
Yeah. So they were doing something with testing on the beach, and they took a bunch of samples and it was all magnetized. And this was not that long ago they did it. What they ended up finding out was that it was shrapnel that they're still finding from
Wow.
what they endured. And I had told them that I had heard somewhere, it's been quite a few years, 10 or so years at least, that they had done some sort of testing there as well. And they were digging down and then taking samples, and they were finding human DNA, from all the blood that was spilled.
Yeah.
So they're
But
still finding.
yeah, what was it? 3 or 4 weeks ago. I can't remember exactly when. They escorted the remains of 25, I believe it was 25 Revolutionary War soldiers that they
Yep.
recently found to go get a proper burial. So yeah, not only finding muskets out here, finding bayonets out here and knives,
Yep.
they're still finding people that fought in these wars.
Oh yeah. It's I don't know. I run across quite a few videos of, they're just like short reels of a World War II vet standing on the beach, just looking at everything, and every single one of them, they salute and they just break down in tears.
Yep.
And I don't blame them for it. I mean, because what they went through back then is nowhere near what it's like today.
Yeah.
It's just,
So,
and then,
go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you're okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm
gonna go in. I'm gonna do the same thing Alien Mike did. I'm gonna read this word for word. This was a user entered article on the ghosts of Valley Forge.
Ooh.
And it's called The Phantom Sentries of Valley Forge. If there's one place where determination shaped a nation, it is Valley Forge. During the brutal winter of 1777 and 1778, nearly 12,000 Continental soldiers endured freezing temperatures, disease, hunger, and unimaginable hardship. More than 2,000 would never leave the encampment alive. Many believe some never did. Visitors arriving before sunrise have occasionally reported seeing a solitary soldier standing among the reconstructed huts, dressed in a faded Continental uniform. He appears to be quietly watching the tree line, musket resting against his shoulder. The strange part, as soon as someone tries to approach, the figure simply disappears. And I know we've said this several times, but there's a twist on this one. As they walk back to where they were, the figure reappears.
Yep.
So park employees have quietly shared stories of hearing footsteps crunching through the snow where no tracks can be found. Others describe hearing the unmistakable challenge of an 18th century sentry. Who goes there? The voice is clear, firm, professional. Yet every search ends the same way. No one is there. Even stranger are reports of music. Late at night, visitors have claimed to hear the distant sound of fifes and military drums drifting through the woods. The music seems close enough to follow, but no matter how far people walk, it never grows louder. Eventually, it simply fades into silence. So whether these stories are lingering memories of one of America's darkest winters, or simply the imagination brought alive by such a historic place, Valley Forge remains one of the country's most enduring Revolutionary War ghost legends. Some say these soldiers are still standing their watch, refusing to abandon the nation they sacrificed everything to create.
Wow.
That's I've got to get down to Valley Forge.
That's one place that I've wanted to go for quite a while.
I mean, I would love to do a ghost hunt down there. I just want to go down for the history.
And that's in Pennsylvania, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's, let me see here. I'm curious about something now.
Oh, good luck, guys. Hopefully it's not a fire.
What's up?
The fire department's rolling out at 102 degrees.
Oh, hopefully not. We've had a bunch of fires here.
Oh, I've been watching the news.
It's been
you guys have an incredibly harsh fire season this year.
Oh yeah. One sec. Let me write this down. So, what's his name? Cox said that, there's a ban on fireworks this year.
Yep.
And Clinton basically said, we're doing it. We're gonna allow them to light off fireworks. And so Cox's rebuttal was, all right, go ahead. But just so you know, if anything happens that state resources have to, other outside cities have to come in to help put out fires because of this, you guys will be reimbursing the state. It comes out of your budget.
As it should this time.
Oh, yeah. Especially with them going, well, we don't care what he says now. Cox is Cox. There's only one thing I've liked about him personally, but, when they put in a law or a bill or however you want to say it and say, look, this is banned. There's a reason why he's doing it. Maybe you ought to think before you say, well,
you guys are living in a tinderbox right now.
Oh, yeah. It's horrible. And they don't care. So I'm curious to see what happens.
With the lack of snow you guys had, I know this is the earliest fire season you guys have ever had, too.
Well, and that was another thing. I was at what day was it? Tuesday. I went up to my dad's house, and he goes, dude, did you see the snow? Like, what are you talking about? I thought I saw something on KSL. He goes, yeah, all the mountains, like, because they live right next to Timpanogos by Cabela's.
Okay.
And you can see the mountains from his house. And Tuesday morning, they were covered in snow.
Yeah, I got the news alert that they were standing by to decide whether they were going to evacuate the University of Utah or if it was safe. What was that, a week ago?
Yeah, because that would have been on. It was a week ago, Saturday into Sunday, because I got home from hanging out with my mate downtown, and it was probably 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I woke Sarah up and said, hey, you might want to check, because she works at ARUP or whatever, which is right next to the hospital.
Oh, yeah, I know right where that's at.
Yep. And they had her work, but at that point it was okay, and then it got worse, and now that one's contained, but the others, there was one thing I just saw that 3 firefighters lost their lives because of it. So it's been something else this year, I tell you what, and it's going to get worse.
Yes, it is. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So
what you got next, man?
All right. Not the map I was looking at. Let's see here. Okay, so this one might be a little bit similar. I sent you both of them, and this is one of the ones that I did send, so I'm going to read this off. So hopefully it's not too similar. But it says, excuse me, I'm struggling right now. On an autumn evening, the last rays of sunlight faded across the fields of Gettysburg National Military Park. Although the battle fought there belonged to a later war, history has a way of leaving echoes. Across America, other battlefields from the Revolutionary War carry stories just as strange. Stories passed from soldiers, park rangers, historians, and ordinary visitors who insist they saw something they cannot explain. One of those places is Fort Mifflin, where British and American forces clashed in 1777. Night guards have long reported hearing boots marching across empty stone corridors. Visitors have described the faint sound of fifes and drums drifting through the darkness, only for the music to vanish when they follow it. Some claim to have seen the figure of a Continental soldier standing silently atop the old walls before disappearing into the mist. That was exactly what happened to Ethan and his friends. They had joined one of the fort's evening history tours expecting old cannons, colonial architecture, and stories from long ago. Instead, they found themselves separated from the group as a thick fog rolled in from the Delaware River. Then came the drums. Not loud, just a slow, steady cadence somewhere ahead. Left, right, left, right. He assumed another tour group was nearby until a row of ghostly figures emerged from the fog. There were perhaps 20 men. Each wore faded blue coats with buff facings, tricorn hats, and carried long muskets. Their uniforms looked worn, stained with mud and smoke. None of them made a sound except for the synchronized crunch of invisible footsteps. One soldier turned toward Ethan. His face was pale, almost transparent. A dark stain spread across his chest where a musket ball had struck centuries before. He raised 2 fingers to the brim of his hat in a respectful salute. Then the entire company faded into the fog. The drums stopped. The silence returned. The guide found the group minutes later. You heard them, didn't you? The old historian asked quietly. Ethan nodded. The guide simply smiled. You're not the first. Months later, Ethan traveled to Monmouth Battlefield State Park, where one of the largest battles of the Revolutionary War was fought during the blistering summer of 1778. Local legends tell of mysterious columns of soldiers seen crossing the fields before dawn. Drivers have reported seeing Continental troops marching beside the road, only to watch them disappear as the morning sun rises. Excuse me. See where I'm at. Ethan arrived before sunrise with the camera. The battlefield was silent. Then came the smell. Black powder, wood smoke, sweat. Wow. A breeze swept across the grass. From the distant tree line emerged dozens of soldiers. Some carried battle flags torn by musket fire. Officers on horseback rode among them without making a sound. The entire column marched toward the center of the battlefield before stopping as if awaiting orders that would never come. One young drummer looked directly at Ethan. The boy couldn't have been older than 14, and this is where it kind of goes into the same ending. Later that morning, park staff told him that similar stories had circulated for generations. While no scientific evidence has confirmed the sightings, enough visitors have shared remarkably similar experiences that the legends endure. He never claimed he had seen ghosts. He simply knew what he had witnessed. Whenever people asked him if he believed the stories of Revolutionary War spirits, he answered the same way. I don't know what they are. He would pause before adding, but somewhere on those old battlefields, history still marches. So that was, besides that little clip.
I really like that one.
Yeah.
That was the one you sent me earlier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that one when you sent it over.
Yeah, I sent, I think there's 2 of them I sent, and then I had said there's 2 or one part that is a little bit similar to the other one. And that was about the drummer being 14.
Okay.
But yeah, it's.
So.
I mean, oof. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to change the tone a little bit and talk about a mercenary who was fighting for the British at the time.
Okay.
Right. And a lot of people will know that the actual story of Washington Irving's The Headless Horseman.
Yep.
Right. But legend is long before he wrote that story, local residents were already telling stories about a headless rider haunting the old road near Sleepy Hollow. According to legend, the rider was a Hessian mercenary fighting for the British during the Revolutionary War. During a fierce battle near White Plains in 1776, he was struck by a cannonball that tore his head away. He was buried nearby, but the story says his spirit never found peace. Witnesses over the past 2 centuries have described hearing hoofbeats echoing along lonely roads after midnight. The sound begins faintly, growing steadily louder, as though the horse is galloping directly toward them. Then they see him, a mounted soldier dressed in the uniform of a Hessian dragoon, but no head. Some witnesses, excuse me. Anyway, I'm back to it. Some witnesses claim the rider carries a dark object tucked beneath one of his arms. Others insist his hands remain fixed on the reins as though desperately searching for something he can never recover. The most unsettling reports come from drivers who say the horse and the rider appear only for a few seconds before vanishing completely, leaving the road empty and silent. So, is the Headless Horseman story the Washington Irving story, or is it the legend of the Headless Hessian? But
Say that again.
Is the real story? Is it from Washington Irving, or is it this Headless Hessian?
I think it's Washington Irving.
Because this story was around before Washington Irving.
Really?
Yeah.
That's something I'm going to have to look into.
But I don't know how I'd feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be able to set up in that cemetery overnight or in the woods near that cemetery.
Oh yeah.
How in the hell would I feel if I turn around and there's a headless mercenary staring at me?
Yeah. It's funny that you brought that up, because even something as simple as, as you know, whenever we do an episode, I'll use either Gemini or Chat GPT to quickly gather some ideas, and then that's where my research branches out. Every single time I looked at anything Revolutionary War, it brought up the Headless Horseman.
I know.
Before
we started doing this, and before I moved out here, I would have never tied those two together.
No, I wouldn't have either. And I was just quite surprised that every time I looked for something, even if it was just Google, the top story was always on the Headless Horseman, Sleepy Hollow. So
it was interesting. I learned, I knew about the Headless Hessian before. I'd read a little bit about him, but it was interesting to actually learn more about it doing this investigation.
Yeah. Well, what were we talking about last? I know there was it the last live that we were on, maybe, or one of our last episodes, but it had to have gone or been around the same time period, because they were talking about the Haitian soldiers, and I had no idea about that.
Oh, I think that was the episode that we ended up not doing. And before we go any further, apologies. We did blow off a Legends.
Let me look right here.
I think it was the White Horse Tavern where you were talking about the Haitians. The Hessians, not the Haitians.
Yeah, well, this one says, hey, the British or Haitian soldiers that had been garrisoned there. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yep.
So yes,
but don't worry, that story is coming.
It is. Like you just said, Steve, we are very, very apologetic. I'm going to blame me for this one. I have had a lot going on this week trying to help my parents with stuff and to do before we leave on holiday, and then to get everything done at my house before we go, to get packed. Like, I'm like trying to put 50 gallons of water in this right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's been difficult. So
I know those feelings well.
Yes, very well. So we apologize. We will make it up to everybody.
So, and I am pretty much out of stories with that one. I know there's about 3 billion stories out there.
Yeah, there were a lot.
And I am, even if we don't do another Revolutionary War ghost story, I'm still going to be checking them out because they are fascinating.
Yeah, they are.
So, but I think with before we go any further, Alien Mike is going on vacation.
Yes, I leave.
We are going to go ahead and postpone our signal of the week and our legends until he returns. So
yes, I leave on Monday morning at 6:15 or something like that is when I have to be to the airport. And then I don't get back until, let me pull this up here. It's the
14th.
It's the 14th, but it's technically the night of the 13th. It's like 12:15 in the morning is when the flight comes in. So 15 minutes into the 14th. So you can expect an episode on Wednesday, the 14th. Or man, I need my eyes checked. Bad.
Yes, you do. All right. So we will record.
We'll have a legend.
I guess we might as well just say it. We'll go ahead and do the White Horse Tavern that we were going to do.
Yeah, that works because that's what we're going to do. So yes, the White Horse Tavern in Rhode Island, which if anybody wants to do any of their own research, make sure Rhode Island. I don't know how many times I caught myself reading something from some other one.
There is probably about 30 or 40 White Horse Taverns down in New Mexico, in Arizona,
Colorado.
I think there's a house of ill repute in Nevada called the White Horse Tavern. I don't know.
Yeah, it's it caught me off guard. I'd be reading something and going, wait a minute. Why am I in New Mexico? Why am I in Colorado? I'm supposed to be 1,500 miles that way. So,
yep.
But it is a very fascinating place.
It is. So yeah, that will be on the 15th. We will make sure we get it out there.
Yep.
But we're gonna give Alien Mike a little bit of time off because he deserves it. He's hardworking.
Yeah.
But there may be a treat. We haven't figured it all out yet, but there may be a treat.
Steve, go ahead and say what the treat will be.
If it works out, Alien Mike and I are going to be going live while he walks around the largest Scottish festival in North America, if not the world.
Yep. And that's
so Alien Mike will be up on the Grandfather Mountains in North Carolina, hanging out with 3 or 4 billion of his closest kilt-wearing friends, and owning a few statues and maybe a few ski chairs and ski lifts.
Oh yeah. And I will be there's a few people I know that's in here. Yeah, Lilith, exactly. That's how this city is, the state. They don't give a damn. If they want to light it off, they will light it off regardless. But apparently this year they have said there is going to be some massive fines if they are caught. So we'll see. But
Mrs. Shenanigator needs some pipes and drums from you.
I will definitely do that. But what I was going to say was I will be taking a kilt with me. And the kilt I'm going to take is one of Neil's. That's what I'm going to wear.
Fitting tribute.
Yeah. And then tomorrow, I know, Steve, you heard about I talked to you about it, but tomorrow I have an appointment to get the side of my neck right here tattooed with Scottish thistles.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
So that's
I'd show you my current update to my sleeve, but it's still healing, so you can't really see it that well.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. Can't wait to see it. So we're still trying to figure out how we're going to do mine, but at first it was just going to be a little small one on my hand right here by the bear paw. And my mom, bless her heart, she hates tattoos worth of passion, but she looked at me and goes, "Oh, why the hell are you putting it there? Scotland doesn't have bears." And I went, "Oh, that's a good point." She goes, "Well, where are you going to put it?" And I said, "On my neck." "Okay." Well, all right. Well, You're not going to complain. I'm not going to argue.
There you go.
Yep. So that's tomorrow.
So yeah, we wish Mike a great vacation, and
thank you.
Hopefully we can go live either on Friday or Saturday. Off the wall time doesn't even matter.
We'll just go live somewhere, sometime at some point. Let me write this down.
2 reasons, though. I mean, number one, who doesn't love pipes and drums? But number two, you're also going to the Grandfather Mountains, which is just full of paranormal activity.
Oh, yeah. And we are staying right outside of West Jefferson.
Okay.
So there might be, quite a bit of paranormal stuff from that specific area.
But we'll play it by ear, see if we just do a pop-up live all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't happen, our next live will be on the 17th.
Okay, 1 sec. Don't go yet, because I'm trying to. So 15th is White Horse.
Yeah.
I'm just writing them all down again. Tavern Legend. Okay, and then our next live, this one I was reading off of a list, and when you said this, I got actually quite excited about it.
I did too, only because of how much of a non-believer I am in it, and it's going to be fun to read these. I've never really researched it.
I have some, and
I mean, I'll be honest. Close. All right, so our next live on the 17th is going to be possessions.
Okay.
And the only thing I know about possessions comes from The Exorcist. I have never really researched this, so I'm looking forward to studying actual cases.
I mean, what is it? Over there in New York, the house. I think it's like Long Island.
Amityville?
That's the one. I think that was considered a possession, wasn't it? Because he went yeah. What?
I don't know if it was a possession or if it was just they tried to play it off as a demonic entity. But yeah, I mean, it's a possession. It possessed a house.
Okay. Yeah. So there's, The Exorcist, the Amityville. I've got so many. I've got a ton. There's so many movies on possession that you can find. I mean,
oh yeah.
It's so the way I think we'll do it is, Steve, you'll have a story that you tell that may seem like a legitimate case from everybody's point of view, and then you'll have one that they tried to fake.
Yeah.
Or and then I'll do the same, and we can just kind of give our opinion on it, get the audience in with us.
We'll let the chat vote on which one they think is the actual and which one is the made up.
There you go. I think that'll be a fun thing. Especially, I know this is kind of off the topic, but the people that got me into wanting to do StreamYard and all that, and I think you brought it up. You can do the is it surveys?
Yeah, you can do surveys.
Yeah. So I've done it on Twitch before where you vote on which one you want and you just click on it. So we'll can set that up for stories and it'll be fun.
I just can't remember how to set up surveys.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it, so
have to be one thing I research before I start researching possessions.
There we go.
One thing I can promise you is neither one of us are Ed or Lorraine Warren.
No.
So not everything's going to be demonic possession.
No, not at all. Then do you want to... We don't have a signal yet, do we?
Yeah, we were just going to
What was the signal?
We were going to move the 11th to the 18th, which is the Jersey Devil.
That's right. So the Jersey Devil on the 18th. SOTW. All right. So we definitely thank everybody for bearing with us. I know it's it becomes a bummer when everything's going great and we have every specific day we have our certain things come out, and then life gets in the way. It's it's part of it. It sucks, but you make do, and we'll get. I mean, did you even get that apology that I recorded up?
I did, yeah.
Okay, I had completely forgot to look. So we'll at least get something up on those days. If
get a clear and fresh mind and come back ready to go to work again.
Getting ready to go, pound it out again.
When you get back, we are 2 weeks away from the 1 year anniversary of the show.
Oh shit!
Yeah, maybe 3. I got to go back and look at the exact date.
August 18th, I think, or 8th. No, August 10th.
3 weeks away from our 1 year anniversary.
It was August 8th or August 10th, something like that. So I get back 1, 2, 3 weeks. Yeah. So this is one last thing that I need to say. I need everybody to chip in. I need you guys to email us. If you have my number, text me. If you have Steve's number, text him. However you can get a hold of us, we'll make posts. But what would you guys like to hear for our 1 year anniversary? What do you think about that? Let the audience decide for that.
I like that. I like that.
Because you guys, I'm sure we'd be doing it regardless, but you guys keep us motivated to keep doing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Without you guys over in the comment section, we're just two guys having a really strange Zoom meeting.
Yeah. And that's actually pretty damn perfect description right there. I'm usually reading the comments like you are, but if you actually think about it.
Yep. So anyway, I've got nothing else on Revolutionary War ghost stories.
I don't either, other than I really hope for a quicker episode, a shorter episode, not a lot, a week less of research. I hope it was a good one for everybody.
And thank you everybody who joined us on this really well laid out plan, considering I finally just posted it this afternoon. Brain fart.
I didn't even notice it, and I usually will catch things like that, but that should kind of give you a hint on how messed up everything's been for me, that I haven't even really looked at anything on Facebook other than making a couple of posts myself.
So, but thank you all for joining us. We wish you the absolute happiest 4th of July.
Yes.
Happy 250 America.
Yep. And don't forget, shout out to Colin
and Skogan Outdoor Podcast. Yep. Check them both out.
The links will be in the description. Yes. Share the videos. Talk to your friends. Tell them about it. Comment. Like it, dislike it, hit the little bell notification, subscribe. It helps the algorithm, helps get us out there.
Absolutely. And welcome to our looks like one new subscriber on YouTube.
So that is that 120 now?
We're at 122 now.
Wow.
Yep.
Very cool.
Welcome to our chaos. But seriously, we want to wish you guys the absolute happiest and safest 4th of July.
Yes. Be careful.
Enjoy. Get out and party like you're 250 years young.
There we go.
And if you get a chance, grab a traffic cone and put it on top of a statue. Just
Please do. Did you see
in
that?
honor of our new friends?
Oh yeah, in honor of my family.
So I guess with that, I got nothing else, Mike. You got anything?
No, I don't.
All right. Again, happy 4th of July and stay
Yes.
spooky.
And keep watching the skies.